Crack open that bottle of wine. Grab your favorite glass, pour a couple of fingers of scotch in it. Get that stick, light it, and blow. It's time to hang with Steel Sharpened Steel after dark.
Good evening, Sharpies. Today is a first. Today we are rolling solo dolo sans Tom. So if you catch a few foibles, faux pas, and fuck ups while I run the board, please forgive me. But we're going to do our best. Shout out to Tom, who's actually in the air right now. He just left California. He's on a plane here. And in the meantime, we have our ever-present, effervescent guest host, James Herndon. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me again. Always good to be invited to your house.
Yes, as always. Glad to have you. And speaking of house, this is a SpelHouse takeover because we got Spellman and Morehouse up in here tonight. HBCUs always represent. It's always HBCU contingency here, howsomever. Tonight, it's the Spell and the house. So
wow, and the house, just SpelHouse.
Make SpelHouse, the spell and the house.
Okay,
SpelHouse.
I'm gonna let it slide.
Calm your business down. Just want to say shout out to Anthony. Anthony rolled up in here while the countdown was still running. If y'all ever want to beat Anthony being the first comment, you're gonna have to catch us as we're still doing the 60-second countdown because he came in around second 12, like bam.
Yes, CJ.
Shout out to Eric. Shout out to CJ. Hey, girl.
Yes, CJ. I am wearing the Tri-Lam sweater. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed this week.
See, first off, CJ, ma'am, you are killing them in these streets with this profile. I love this picture so very much. Just want to shout out, hey, Miss Vera. Glad to have you here. Yep. Spellman represent. We do have, as Anthony said, we do have a lot to talk about, but I would also encourage our viewers to keep track of what we're talking about. And if you see us veer off and forget what's happening, just say, hey, we were talking about this, because I interrupted James's evening to ask him to help me run the show tonight. And I also had a visit from a friend who was like, you have to try this. And I did. And what I tried was laced. So happy 420 to everyone else out there. I know it's 421, but I mean, what better way to represent the cannabis community than to be a day late, right? So we'll see how this show goes in about 30, 45 minutes. But I do want to get right into it because we do have a lot to discuss. And I want to start off, talking about some imagery here. Where are my pictures? There we go. The first thing I want to talk about, I had to take a breath. First thing I want to talk about is the video soundbite, the audio clip from the Oklahoma officials were accused of killing journalists. And they were talking about this on a hot mic. Now, Bruce Willingham is the local, head reporter, editor of the local newspaper, et cetera. And he is known to give, wait for it, fair and balanced coverage of everything that's going on, which means anybody that's messing up, Bruce Willingham and his staff and the rest of the crew at that newspaper are going to find it. And they're going to talk about it. They don't condemn. They just say, hey, this happened. And because he has reported on several things that have happened, I want to say it's in McMurray County, the sheriff and several others were, here's what he was doing. If you notice what it says here, he believed that local officials were upset about the stories they run that cast the sheriff's office in an unfavorable light. But he also believed that this county seat was conducting business after the meeting had been closed. And so the meeting is supposed to be open to the public. Everyone can attend, but he felt that they were doing stuff kind of after dark, if you will.
Backdoor meetings, if you will.
Exactly. So he left the microphone on in the room after everyone else had been put out to see if he could catch any business being conducted after everything started, after everything was supposed to be over. So I'm going to do my best and see if I can share this screen. Put that in right there and go.
It was back in the day when Alan Marshall take a damn blackjack, whoop their ass and throw them in the cell. I'd run the fucking chair.
Yeah. Well, it's not like that no more.
I know. Take them down here on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope.
Yeah.
But you can't do
And the
that.
thing about it is,
They got more rights than we got.
What they really don't know is they.
and that's the thing about it. 20 years ago, I would have done something like that. I mean, 20 years ago, I wasn't in a political position. You know?
They're insignificant in my life.
Yes.
Really, they bring
The
that
old
to the
saying is,
table.
you know,
What goes around goes around.
it will. I told you it will.
Yeah.
I know we're two big deep holes.
I want to stop and think about what the lady that we heard said. They're insignificant in my life. And that is another part of the problem when we talk about stamping out racism, sexism, ageism, whatever it might be. But in this case, racism, because they're insignificant in my life. I bet you dollars to donuts, half the stuff in her house was either inspired, created by a person of color or a Black person in particular. She just doesn't know. It's another one of the problems with trying to squash Black history, Black contributions to this country, because she thinks they're insignificant and could be squashed like a bug or any other insignificant nuisance animal around her.
Oh gosh.
I got an excavator.
These are like pre-dug. Yeah, but the thing of it is, you know,
We actually told the truth.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that are very quiet guys.
Yeah.
Now that's where they fucked up. If you heard them, he was like, I know 2 or 3 hitmen. Why?
That's conspiracy right there.
Conspiracy to commit murder is what that is. Because if you want to make a joke about something, you say, you know, I got a guy that's got a guy. You know, you make a little joke. I know a guy. You don't know a guy. But you said, I know, and you whispered it. I know 2 or 3 hitmen.
Right. Outright saying it. What happened to code words? I got a plumber, a cleaner,
A fixer.
something.
You too dumb to know. And talking about it out in public, because not only are they being recorded, it's not like they're speaking real low. Somebody still listening at the door could have heard any of this. Let's continue.
And we're cutting no fucking mercy
Yeah.
in Louisiana because it's all mafia around
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
Now he said it's hitman from Louisiana. I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that his hitmen are from Louisiana. Because you know what? Yeah. They don't read. You're right. They don't know about sunshine law. I can't. And when people talk about, oh, racism is over, we don't even do that anymore. This was today. Well, not today, but this week. Right. This was in the here and now. And they're mad that they can't string people up by a tree, talking about they got more rights than we do. But then also mad they got caught on a hot mic. How you gonna be mad that, how you gonna say we have more rights and then know that you can freely speak about murdering us for no other reason than you don't like us?
Right. And let's back up to that. Last I checked, what more rights do we have than our Caucasian counterparts? Because I can't mouth off to a cop without getting handcuffed at best, shot at worst. I'm still going to get unfavorable credit review if I want to buy a house.
Right.
You're going to charge me more and sell for less, even if I do get said house.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get the job I want without twice the experience of my white counterpart because I don't fit what you think should be in that role.
Right.
So what
the minute you make a mistake, you are fired.
Right. So what more rights do I have? Because the one thing I really want that y'all have is the benefit of the doubt, which is what they're going to get in this recording.
Yes.
They're going to get the benefit of the doubt of this recording. Now, unless, I mean, I know there's more, but unless the people of the town force them to step down because the sheriff is an elected official, he's not going anywhere.
And this is why when people tell me, oh, I want to help, I want to be progressive, I just don't want to get too political, then you don't want to do nothing.
You don't want to do anything. No.
Because if you're not voting these people out, if you're not standing up and saying, you know what, I will not be a one issue voter. I'm not just going to worry about abortion. I'm going to actually vote social programs. Then you have to change support for these people. If you hear this, you have to say, I'm not going to vote for this incumbent sheriff again. But half people don't show up. They go in and he may run unopposed. And rather than refuse to vote, because in most states, if you run unopposed and you still don't get 50% of the people that voted, you don't win. They end up doing a special election, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people run unopposed because the same folks that sit in their house and bitch about stuff also don't step up and run for office. You know? I don't even know if I want to continue, but we're going to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, but here's the reality. If a hair on his wife's head, Bruce Willingham's head, or any of those people that really were behind all that, if the hair on their head got touched by anybody, who would be the bad guys?
Who you
Yeah.
blaming for?
Yeah.
On the burnt body, we wrap it up in tinfoil to preserve the body and stuff like that. And we get all the body parts and stuff like that. And Kyla was out there too.
All the body part. Oh, she come apart.
Just the burnt bodies.
They are talking about murdering and dismembering the very Mr. Willingham that left this microphone. That's who they're talking about.
Yes.
Him, his wife, his kids.
Yes, his son,
Killing
who
him.
also works at the paper, I believe.
Yes.
And they go on further. I don't know if you're going to continue to play the words, but spoiler, someone mentions, I've already got 2 holes dug.
I know. I picked up on
And
They really
Yeah.
fall apart when they're burnt.
and
Have
Yeah.
you ever had barbecue?
that's another.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm hungry.
Kyla looks at
Guy's
me.
glasses
And
off.
they got to wrap the
his face and
tinfoil
pull
and put
all
her in the
skin
body bag.
off.
Kyla goes, you do know what we got to do now, right? Faith goes, no, what? She goes, she got to preheat the oven 350 degrees, leave her in there for 15 minutes. And she went,
They're talking about cooking somebody.
Yeah. Barbecuing
So-
an actual person.
I've had quite enough of that.
Yeah.
So we're going to let that go. And you're right, Anthony. People not voting, not holding folks accountable, not engaged. The same old thing. Everybody gets mad and they love to protest, but then they get mad if the protest does not affect continual lasting change. And then they go, protests don't work. And then when we ask them to vote for continual lasting change, they can't be bothered to get out of bed on a Tuesday. You know, that's the shit that aggravates me. Yes, basura.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm
I'm not surprised.
not
Like,
surprised.
in this day and age, I'm numb to a lot of things. Unfortunately, this is one of them because this is just expected. This is the norm of what large swaths of the American population fit. This is how they feel. This is how they think. This is what happens day in and day out when there's no camera or microphone or public eye on them.
And these are not country bumpkin hicks with no power whittling on their porch steps like Deliverance. These people are in the county seat, right?
These are
They
people
make
on your
decisions.
boards of education are like this. Your
Boards of
PTA.
education, boards of colleges and universities, medical review boards, all of them. And you're right. The more things change, the more they don't change.
Absolutely.
The only thing that changes is the time on the clock. The same matter of fact, if you go back and listen to like some of James Baldwin's speeches, he could have been talking about last week. Nothing has changed. For a brief amount of time, Black people thought we had arrived because we had some TV shows and got some good jobs, and we thought, oh, this is way better. And then, lo and behold, one of us made it up to president, and then white folks realized, hey,
This is too much progress.
down there where you belong. And we've been having trouble ever since. New trouble that we weren't prepared for because we thought things were getting better. And even some of our integrated school friends thought it was getting better too, until a line was drawn in the sand and they had to decide, they're gonna love Paw Paw and Meemaw, or they're gonna stand up for their friends. And that has happened over and over again. There's a lot of people that want to be progressive, but also don't want to upset anybody. So they don't challenge the bullshit they hear in their homes, never realizing that that bullshit is filtering into their kids now too, from grandma and Paw and them.
What else you got?
I know. Well, in the same vein, you know, we talk about how we can't do nothing without them coming around. Recently, Boston Marathon watchers were demanding an investigation after they had an interaction with the police. And this was in Newton. So there were a group, I didn't get the video because I was trying to save it and I couldn't get it to play. But the video will show you what happened was the Boston Marathon, it's 26 miles, right? Around mile 21, it gets hard for people to continue. A lot of people come out to support along that mile right there. A group of Black runners came out to support their Black runner friends who were running through, and they were out there like everybody else. Matter of fact, if you Google it and look for the video, you'll see there's a bunch of white people on the other side of the street and no cops. On this side of the road, 15 to 20 bike police officers, some SUVs, 4 or 5 motorcycles, all around a group of maybe 30, if that, Black people.
Probably like 12 to 15.
More like 12 to 15 Black people. So we got like a 2-to-1 ratio on cops to people who just wanted to wave and high five their friends. And that's what happened. After they high fived their friend or one of the people, that's when the bikes come out to set up a border and a boundary as if these Black people are so dangerous. They're fucking running.
Mind you, there's a flag up along that part of the course that says cheer zone.
Yeah.
So what do you think a group of Black folk are doing out there?
Yeah.
Yes.
CJ has some friends out there too at mile 21 trying to cheer for some of the others who are running for their 6th star, which is it's a big deal. Do you know how many marathons you got to run? A lot. More than I've ever run, which is less than 1.
I'm never running a marathon
No,
or a half marathon.
And I won't. Yeah, we can't even just mind our business.
Nope.
We out here trying to support, trying to cheer on people, trying to be positive in a community. But because we're in front of some white folks' houses and because, oh my God, they're high-fiving. Is that code? Is it Al-Qaeda? Whatever they might have thought it was. Is it the Crips and the Bloods? They're throwing gang signs? I sent them a thumbs up. What the fuck is wrong with you? And so now you got all these cops out here who, mind you, if anybody would have so much as laughed hard or coughed loud, they'd all got arrested because they were waiting for something to happen. And this is the issue with over policing. It's not about too many people, although there are too many cops in economically oppressed neighborhoods. It's about the fact that you only watching us. It could have been people over there raping and killing somebody on the other side of the street and they never would have seen it because they're busy watching this Black guy high five his friend. It happens all the time in convenience stores. Matter of fact, little white girls will tell you that they will wait on Black people to leave so they can leave at the same time with their shoplifted shit because they know the Black folks are going to get stopped and they get away with it. And they prey on that.
So it's about keeping us in our place.
It's always been about keeping us in our place. The very word uppity means that you are not where I want you to be. How dare you try to be as good as or better than me? You're not supposed to be. I can't feel good about myself if you out here loving yourself. I need you to hate yourself so you don't notice how much I hate you so I can feel better about my shitty life. That's white supremacy.
And there's no shock that took place in Boston.
And I got loved ones from Boston. My work husband is from Boston. And he will admit, we had a really deep discussion one day because he came out to me as gay like in 2013. And he admitted, because I knew growing up, I said, I heard sexist jokes and gay jokes, etc. And he grew up and he said he heard gay jokes and Black jokes. And we were talking about the insensitivity that our parents had to other populations. And them not knowing that he was gay and telling gay jokes, and also telling Black jokes. And he's like, I feel bad about the things that I heard growing up. So do I. We talked about all of that. Right. Boston is very pick one, racist, sexist, homophobic, all of it, ageist, everything. But here's the thing. If you spend all your time watching one side of the road. You have no idea. Matter of fact, the people on the other side of the road are banking on you not watching them.
Yep.
I remember reading a Twitter feed, and it was about, you know, how they were clamping down on young Black kids that can't be out, you know, riding around, joyriding late at night. They can't be out smoking, even if it's a closed cigarette. They can't be out. They can't be out. They can't be outside.
When the street lights come on, basically.
And then there was some Black kids that go to private schools, and they said drag racing, smoking, snorting coke, crushing and snorting Adderall, sexual assault. He goes, that's just any random weekend for these white kids up in these private schools.
Yep.
And they grow up with that. That's the privilege we're talking about. It's not about the money to go to the private school. It's the fact that when you got in there, nobody checked you for the bullshit you did. And you grow up thinking it's your due. They turn into the Brett Kavanaughs of the world.
Because there's nothing wrong with having a few beers.
I like beer.
Beer's good. Tastes good. I like it. With the hot
Me
dog.
Me and Stewie, or
Burger.
whatever the hell his friend's name was. Scooter. All of that. Moving on. Well, one more thing. Another person did put up, and again, they were talking about hot. So Running Wild Black author Alison Mariella Desir told BuzzFeed that the situation isn't new. She said at the same Pioneers Run cruise station last year, she also experienced disproportionate policing, and officers were called while they were cheering runners on. All you're doing is cheering. And so here's another thing that I've discussed in certain circles before. White people do not like to see Black people being happy. Because they feel like, what do you have to be happy about? Your life is supposed to be terrible. And if your life is terrible and you're still happy, I haven't made it terrible enough. And if your life is great and you're happy, why is your life better than mine? Either one is bad.
I mean, that's why, you know, you get the cops called on you for having a cookout in the park. Or, you know, trying to have a little street corner business selling water.
Right, selling a little water. Yeah. Speaking about the kids selling water, these little brothers down here on 10th Street and the feeder onto 85 South, bruh, they didn't got so gangster with their stuff. They got merch. They are the water boys in the hood.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen that they selling hats and t-shirts now.
Nice.
In addition to water. You know what? Take the come up. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you at all. Yes.
Dilly indeed. Dilly indeed.
I do have, where's the video? No, that's for later, as we get into the funny things. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, so another interesting thing that happened this week is, you know, I don't like to say that I relish the tragedy or the misfortune of someone else, but hey, bro, heard your rocket blew up.
Is that a double entendre?
His face says yes.
Oh.
So Elon Musk lost $13 billion with a B dollars in 24 hours after the SpaceX rocket explosion and disappointing Tesla earnings. And I am proud to say that even though I have a Tesla, he does not get $1 of my money because I bought it off my homeboy. So I just ended up giving him his money back that he paid for it earlier. And I get to charge it for free. So I'm actually siphoning electricity dollars off of Elon. Thank you, homie.
My thing is, what scientists do you have on staff that couldn't check to make sure that nothing went wrong during this launch? Did they not? Because look, I know shit happens sometimes. Faulty equipment could get through. Someone assumes it works. Why, CJ? Why?
Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely respect people's pronouns and their right to define themselves from a gender expression standpoint. But this is funny.
CJ needs a timeout.
Yeah, CJ, you're on timeout. You're on timeout for at least 5 minutes. Okay. Unless you got something else funny, you can put it right up in there.
I'm still just like NASA, what? Triple, quadruple, quintuple checks, everything.
and still has stuff. Wait, how many rockets does Elon have?
Oh gosh.
Hey Siri, how many rockets does Elon Musk
Oh
have?
my God. I don't know. I feel like he's launched one before, but I could very well be wrong. But still, 4.5 minutes into launch, this thing blew up. And I'm like, it must be nice to have billions of dollars to throw away.
Billions of dollars. It looks like he might have several, like 7 of one. Some of them, I don't know how many manned rockets he has, but whatever it is, a significant percentage of his rockets blew up when that one blew up. Yeah, CJ tried to get me spitting out my wine.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's something else we want to talk about. Now I don't have a clip for it. I don't have that video, the audio, but my girl, Robbie Cole, shout out to the class of 87. Don't forget about the football trainer's racist rant last week while making a lot of money off Black athletes. He drove through Atlanta recording his rant on TikTok, and you can still find that rant out there.
Can.
Yeah. So do you want to sum it up?
The guy's name, don't recall, but he's basically every school in the SEC has used this guy to come in, train athletes in the off season, speed drills, put them through conditioning programs and everything, get them basically the majority of the players who plan to go pro after that current season is over with. And let's be real, 90% of these players are Black.
Mm-hmm.
They probably play for Alabama and Georgia.
He has made his money off the backs of these Black players. And then have the nerve to bring his fish belly white ass through Atlanta, Fulton County, like Atlanta proper, complaining about, he goes, I remember part of it was like, you used to come through here and you see good people. Now it's just overrun. They can have it. They can have it. You know what I also want to remind him of? Atlanta, Georgia is responsible for around 90% of the gross domestic product of the state of Georgia. If you want us to have it, let us have it.
Please.
Don't take your ass back to where you come from and keep eating rice and beans or whatever y'all doing out there in the country. Because where the money resides is right here in Atlanta.
Because when I say he was downtown, he was basically like a block away from Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons play.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
absolutely,
and he is a convicted felon for harassing his fiance and coercing witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this bullshit. That is nonsense.
But that didn't stop the head coaches and athletic directors of these SEC schools from bringing him in to train folk because, hey, this guy, he's cool. He seems all right. Bring him in. Felony record, not a big deal.
Again, benefit of the doubt. Can you imagine? They would never let Michael Vick in there. Never.
Please, they're hyperactive PETA folks still coming for Mike Vick's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Still, mind you, he makes on his own because it was part of his initial release. Mm-hmm. But now on his own, he himself sponsors dog shelters.
Mm-hmm. He has made
what he was arrested for.
He changed his behavior. He didn't do those types of things again. He learned his lesson and he served his time. What aggravates me is people who are convicted, sentenced, set aside, or settle out of court when you know they murdered somebody or raped somebody's child or whatever. Oh, they're too good, they're too gentle to go to prison, all that other bullshit. Yeah. They want to get grown or get older and say, I can't believe all of these people out here. Oh, and let's also not forget the same rant that he recorded of himself going through Atlanta. He stopped somewhere and tried to order hose on room service at the hotel. And he specifically said, bring a white one because my friend don't like the Black ones, or something along those lines. This is crazy. And you know what? Here's the thing that I want everybody to recognize. This ain't new. He ain't just decided to say this week. What we are experiencing as a collective, progressively minded culture, meaning Black people of color, LGBTQ, neurodiversity, everybody who is in a marginalized community and looking to preserve or gain their rights, that whole community is seeing people outside that collective community lose their shit in a public way because now they're realizing that they are surrounded. Everywhere you turn, there is someone who is from one of those communities that is saying, hey, can I have my space? And they're feeling pushed out, not pushed out of the society, but pushed out of the leadership position. And they can continue to get pushed out because they do shit like this. They prove themselves unworthy to lead. Nobody made you record that racist rant. Nobody told you you had to say all of this. Nobody coerced you. You know,
And no one
you
told me on
recorded it.
TikTok.
Did you think that TikTok only allowed your followers to see it? That's what you get for not understanding technology, jackass. Every time even this show, most of the people that I work with or that I work for do not know that I do this show. But if they ever found it, I can defend everything I've ever said on this show because either it was true or, as you noticed earlier, I preface it by saying I understand this is a joke and it's a joke. You will never catch me being out of character. You will never catch me belittling any other group. And if I do, they fucking deserved it. That's right. He was at the Omni.
Omni, yes.
No red bone. He probably got that phrase from his black students.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely got it from them.
Mm-hmm. And while we're on the subject of black people in sports, James, what's going on in the NBA and the NFL and the quarterbacks?
So I don't know if there's any good news or bad news to this, but let's get the two things in the NFL I want to mention is that the draft is next week. Thursday night. The NFL draft.
Oh, I thought you said giraffe. I was lost.
The NFL draft. And there are 5 quarterbacks expected to go in the first round. 4 of which happen to be black, African American. 1
What other kind of African? Black.
1 quarterback, white, Will Levis. I single out Will Levis because if you didn't know any better, if you've never seen football, follow the draft in any way, shape, or form, and you listen to literally every football outlet from ESPN to NFL Network, Fox Sports, NBC, whatever, talk about these 5 quarterbacks, you would think Will Levis was the golden child.
The great white hype.
Because they don't say anything wrong about him in any way, shape, or form. There's
that positive bias, that benefit of the doubt once again.
No microaggressive comments, no picking apart his game. The only real knock against him is the school he's coming out of, which is University of Kentucky. That's it. That's the only knock against him. The other 4 quarterbacks, accuracy issues, can't he manipulate the pocket, runs too much, too short, hand size too small, not tall enough, probably doesn't weigh enough. Did he play enough quality schools while he was playing? Can all of these skills that he has transition to the next level? It's like they're looking for reasons to disparage the other 4 quarterbacks.
The hair is too long, whatever it is.
But they haven't done any of that to Will Levis. Again, the only knock on him is that he went to University of Kentucky. And I get it. Kentucky is typically a basketball school, not a football powerhouse, despite playing in the SEC. But that's the only knock against Will Levis. So take from that what you will.
I'm trying to find. So Ursula put up a comment saying that there was a sister and a brother kicking butt in the field of gymnastics, and I was trying to find them, and I'm realizing now that she did not mean actual blood related sister and brother. She meant a black woman,
black gymnast, yes,
kicking butt. So I'm looking up sister brother combos. What is in this? This is great.
Grape juice that you drinking? Yeah, grape juice. The other thing that happened in the NFL this week is that roughly 6 players are being suspended for various amount of times this upcoming season because they bet.
Yep.
On they didn't bet on NFL games, but they were placing bets through apps at NFL facilities, which is a no-no. So
it's another form of over-policing.
Yes, it is another form of over-policing because while you can place bets on other sports, not the NFL, you just can't do it on NFL grounds. So that means your team facility, training room, the hotel, wherever the team is staying for a road trip, you can't place bets on your apps in those areas. So yes, a couple of these players are only getting a 6-game suspension. Others are getting up to a full year suspension. Naturally, they will appeal. Not sure how that's going to work out for the ones who have the year suspension. The 2 players with the 6 game, they could probably get that knocked down to 4, maybe, but I'm not saying, look, there's a forum to teach all these incoming players because they're all young players. I don't think anyone has more than 3 years experience, but these kids have got to pay attention to the forums about betting, and maybe the forums need to be teams need to be a little bit more explicit as far as telling them what is and isn't allowable as far as betting. As far as NBA, yeah, let's just put it this way. In the NBA this week, if you are the instigator of a conflict, nothing will happen to you. If you respond, you're going to get suspended for a game. That's basically what happened to Draymond Green and almost happened to Joel Embiid. Last week in their opening playoff or second playoff game against the Sacramento Kings, Draymond Green fighting for a rebound in the scrum. Sabonis, an opposing player for the Sacramento Kings, falls down and grabs his leg. Now, you're trying to turn and run back down court to follow the action.
Yeah.
Someone grabs your leg.
You're going down. You're
going to fall. So in trying to try to prevent yourself from falling, you got to shake your leg loose, and now you're off balance, and you got to plant your foot somewhere. Draymond happened to step on dude's chest because he happened to be right there, and that was.
But now they're trying to say he stomped him out.
Right. And of course, he over-embellished, rolled on the ground. The Sacramento Kings training staff was like, oh, he needed x-rays and we had to check for contusions and everything. I have no sympathy for Sabonis whatsoever. No. He deserved to get stomped because anybody talking about, oh, Draymond shouldn't have done that and Draymond's wrong. I get it. Draymond has a history of bad boy behavior, but let's examine.
But he didn't stomp nobody.
Let's examine that history. The first time this made big news was the finals when the Warriors are playing LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And LeBron and him had a collision, and LeBron stands over him. Now, in the NBA, you really can't retaliate. Draymond did punch at his man region because you're standing over me. And I don't appreciate you standing over me. Standing over someone is the ultimate sign of disrespect.
Wait, was he down on the ground like?
No, he wasn't doing that. But basically, LeBron just stood over him and looked down at him.
That's what he's doing.
But out in the streets, on the blacktop, that's a fight waiting to start.
Yes. That's a fight starting immediately, as a matter of fact.
Basically. So
but
that was pretty much.
Did have a point. Like, if he had just been smart about it and fell, it wouldn't have been any suspension. He could have fell and kicked him in the head as he fell. But you don't really think about those things in the moment because, like you said, you're trying to get back into the action.
Right.
You know?
So again, because Draymond has a history, that's why they suspended him. But nothing happened. Nothing happened to Sabonis. And they're trying to make him out to be the victim when he's the agitator. So the only other thing is Ja Morant needs better friends. Yes. The star player for the Memphis Grizzlies is still caught up in nonsense that he has done on the behalf of his homies, his boys. There seems to be no one there to give him guidance, even though his father is around. His father's just like, do your thing. But to be brandishing guns at teenage kids who you playing pickup ball with in front of your house or in a nightclub or threatening people who work in shoe stores because your mom is unhappy about the service she got, amongst the litany of other things. So look, he says he's gone into counseling. I hope it sticks. But his attitude and the attitude of his teammates is one and the same. And again, there's no one on that team of any age of maturity to tell all of them, shut up, play ball. Because it's to a certain extent, yes, they do need to shut up and just play ball because they haven't won anything. This is a team of young, brash, mid-20-somethings. And don't get me wrong, you're good enough to do it, cool. Make sure on the flip end, when you get your butts handed to you, you can deal with it. Because the thing that's going on in this series, they're mouthing off to LeBron James and the Lakers. And if they lose the series to the Lakers, they will never hear the end of it. Because LeBron is 40. basically. And they're running up and down the court calling him, oh, you don't have it anymore. You can't do it. So,
yeah, hot mess.
Young folks
forgive me, I'm
sometimes
trying
need a
to
reality
load
check.
So thanks to Ursula, I did manage to find those pictures. Where did I put it? Uh-oh. Well, I'm gonna show one. Stop. I'm gonna show one because I couldn't download it fast enough. But this is Trinity Thomas, and she is, where's my picture? There we go. This is why we need Tom. Tom is so good at this. This is Trinity Thomas. Trinity Thomas has now tied for the most perfect 10s in the NCAA, I want to say NCAA gymnastics, whatever you call it.
Championships or regionals?
Yes, all
Absolutely.
of those things. All of those things. She is a phenom. And she is clearly, clearly a hard worker. People love her. She has carried University of Florida, UF. She carried them to a championship time and time again. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I would love to see her in, the Dominique Dawes. This stuff is getting to me. I'm trying to think of the girls.
Dominique Dawes' role.
Simone Biles. I would love to see her with Simone Biles's coverage, opportunities, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Black girl magic. Indeed. Thanks for trying to have my back, Anthony. I was trying to say Simone. The other one that we found is actually the young man who is from Michigan, and this is him, Fred Richard. And he is the undisputed rookie or freshman of the year for gymnastics, and he's been carrying Michigan's team as well. So
nice.
What I'm seeing, in addition to racism and attempts at lynching and murder and everything else, just like they did in the 30s, in the 1860s, in the 1850s, and in the late 1700s, every time we get a little something to ourselves, they're like, no, and they just drag it out. So what we're seeing here, now that they have stopped barring us from competing, we eating a fucking lunch. And it's kind of fun to see. And the sarcastic, petty side of me wants to say, if you didn't want us to take over all your sports, you shouldn't have bred us this way. It's kind of your fault. Could have left us alone. We'd be potters and, technicians and artists and whatnot. But no, you wanted the biggest, blackest people. And that's what you got. Good luck with that. As you continue to overpay athletes. Now, mind you, get your money. I'm not saying anything like that. Absolutely. But we all know that all athletes are, you pay to play games. It's fucking great. I wouldn't take anything from it. And I would never tell anybody not to be true to themselves and espouse their beliefs just because they play a sport and make a lot of money. I'm saying you set it up that way. Don't be mad if we don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, you went there. You went there.
I win the night.
Oh my gosh.
So exactly. We represent everywhere and they can't stand it.
No, they don't like it at all.
And what they end up doing is getting themselves in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what happens when what is the phrase? I believe it is something about circular motion and then upper mobility. Oh, you fuck around and find out. So what I'm about to show you is a couple videos on the Twitters, right? Hang on, let me get my little self set up here. This, I'm getting good at this now. This, and then share this, and no, this one. Wow, Keisha. Really? People always wonder, what do they do if they end up in a situation with a Karen or something like that? Oh. And here's what you do. So this is the first video.
What? Bitch. No, bitch, who the fuck is? Girl, I slapped the fuck out of you. You shut up, bitch. What you want to do? What you want to do? That's exactly what I thought, bitch. You'll get the fuck beat out of you, bitch. Bitch, fuck you. Oh, I'm about to beat her.
Did you hear it?
Oh, I caught it.
Let me back up a little bit. Right about here.
Oh, I'm about to beat her ass. What? Bitch. No, bitch, who the fuck is?
So she called her the N-word.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, what? Oh, I'm about to beat this bitch ass. And the saga continues outside. Hang on. The next video. Let me see if I can get this out.
She called us a nigger. She called us a nigger in Safeway.
For real?
Yeah, she did. She did. She did. She did. I don't want to hear. She did. She called us a nigger. I don't care. She definitely called us a nigger. She definitely did. Disrespectful.
I want y'all to notice. Check out the brother. We're gonna back it up a little bit. This brother right here, that's his girl. So she didn't call these women in the store a nigger. And then go outside to her man. But it gets better.
She called us a nigger. She called us a nigger in Safeway.
For real?
Yeah, she did.
For real? Yo, I don't care who you date. I don't care who you love. You are entitled to love any race, gender, sexual orientation that you want. But when your people are in trouble and the person you're dating has been the oppressor, I want you to rock like this.
She did. She did.
Like, try to protect her for a minute.
She did. I don't want to hear. She did. She called us a nigger. I don't care. She definitely called us a nigger. She definitely did. That's disrespectful.
She was all, bring it, bitch, in the store. Okay, Tiffany, it's been brought. Now what?
Respectful. To me and your kind, you can call me what you want, but you don't call me no nigger. You don't call me no nigger.
Now watch how the brother has slowly extricated himself.
Oh, it wasn't slowly.
Bruh is like, I'm not with her.
Exit stage left real
right?
quick.
I mean, I like you, Becky, blah, 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 but you can't just be calling sisters niggas. I mean, I'm gonna have to let them whoop your ass.
I don't give a fuck. Especially coming from your time. You don't call nobody no nigga. Bitch. Sorry. Bitch. No, you're not sorry, bitch. Bitch, say nigga again. Say nigga again. Say it again, bitch. Say it again. Say it again, bitch.
Bring it, bitch.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Who's the nigga now? Who's the nigga now? Bitch, who's the nigga? She called us.
I like that scene right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. Whew. Yeah, he's like, you on your own, Becky. Deuces. Yeah, don't be sorry now.
No.
Don't be sorry. Be careful. Be better.
They don't want to.
Wait, I gotta find this one. A Karen spat on a young lady celebrating her birthday and got beat down while holding the. Yes, we will definitely. I will find that and I will post it on the Steel Sharp and Steel page once I find it. Although it might not be tonight because I'm about to pass out. The fact that you're still getting relatively eloquent joy is a miracle. I'm just saying, I can't feel my feet.
You know what? I got nothing. What else we got?
We got one more thing. Wait, player litmus test. He offers to take the two ladies out to lunch to make up for what his ex-girlfriend did. I hope he stopped dating her. Because the fact that you now know this girl that you've been digging, dating, chilling, whatever, you chilling with her, and she out here calling people nigga. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna need you to go and let that go. You know, because that means that she thinks it. She may think you're an exception, but she still thinks it about, and she thought it about you before you started laying it on her. You know, so, and a lot of white women, unfortunately, a lot of women in general believe the stereotype, and it's a stereotype, believe the stereotype that brothers just got bigger dicks than everybody else. It's not true, not empirically. We're talking a quarter to a half of an inch on average. When you do measure one demographic versus another. I know because I looked it up a long time ago. It ain't that big of a difference. And you have outliers in both, in all regions. But all women of all nationalities have heard the rumors. And some of them want to see if it's true, you know? Oh, Robbie, did you find it? Robin texted me.
Uh-oh. Ursula, really?
Wait, I don't see it.
Pay per season.
What?
For playing cornhole?
Because she did say earlier that we need to get cornhole going.
I
Folks
mean,
winning between $47,000 to $8,000 per player at the National Cornhole Tournament. Professional player can make up to $25,000 per season. That is not going to pay rent.
it's
but
not.
It is a nice side hustle if you can do it.
It
and
is.
I would
mean, my
love
spare
us.
time.
This is like the last bastion of like non-infiltrated sports. Let's go get the cornhole, y'all. Y'all start practicing. All you need is a slanted board and some bean bags, and get your stroke right. Yeah, since y'all think y'all got stroke anyway, get your stroke right, and let's go out here and take this 25. Take this last piece of candy from these babies. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You feel better now?
Dude. Shout out to Chan.
Cornholio.
If you don't get the reference, you don't need to.
I'm not going to say it. It should be known.
And this is a good point. Just because your bedroom is integrated doesn't make you black friendly.
No.
Just because you have some blacks in you don't make you black.
Because again, a lot of other nationalities, because of that, stereotype us in general, men and women.
And here's another thing. You can act like you as down as you want to be. If I was yelling and cussing and fighting with another black woman in the store, I would never call her a nigga. I would never. And if I did, it wouldn't be punitive like that. It'd be like, nigga, you must have lost your mind in conversation. It would still be a basic assumption of respect for your humanity. I might want to beat your ass. I might beat your ass. I might fight you. But if I use a word like that, you would still know that that wasn't a racial slur in that moment. That wasn't my last attempt, to try and insult you. That's just conversation. But I don't use it on a daily basis anyway, so it probably wouldn't come out of my mouth like that. And
Breathe.
Sometimes it gets to me, sometimes it gets on my nerves, and so I'm sure, but there's never been any video of me doing anything that I would like regret nowadays. Like there's video of so many white women, so many white men, so many Asian and Hispanic people too, and black people doing things that once it got out, they don't want anybody to know. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that wasn't me.
It looked like you.
So
it really did look like you.
Yes, it look a whole lot like you. Your kids know it's you. And that's another thing. People growing up, having kids and discovering that their kids have found out something about them. And to that extent, the Freaknik documentary is coming out. Or it's already out. I don't know. Has anybody seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I ain't got nothing to worry about.
I ain't got nothing to worry about either. Yeah, you knew where I was headed.
Really, Mark? Freaknik question mark?
1994 video.
I have seen plenty of videos about Freaknik when I was in college.
It's funny because people like my girl Robbie, so she's like Spelman class of 87. She's like, ain't no Betamax VHS out here.
Actually, good. Yes, there are.
But they don't play. That shit is so rotten.
Ooh, yes, they do.
But that's the thing, is they didn't reach out to them. They were looking, 1994 was like the year of the camcorder.
Right.
So all of a sudden,
everybody has camcorder
footage that people have kept for 20 years. And now, even though they were sworn on pain of death to never show this stuff, they're out here showing it. And yeah, we were class of 94, class of 95. I was class of 95, and I was at that 94 Freaknik. I bet you don't nobody know it though. And even if you found me on a video, the worst I might be doing is dropping it like it's hot. If you try to embarrass me and show me a video of me dropping it like it's hot at a Luke party in 1994, my response is going to be, damn, my knees was good back then. Look at me get low. I still got it. I try to get low right now. I need to hold on to something. No, I'll hold on to the bar when I drop it like it's hot. I need assistance. Assisted dropping is what I need.
Oh God!
I can lower it like it's warm.
And the crazy part is the 94 Freaknik was talked about even when I was in school.
And yeah, that wasn't here.
I wasn't even here in 94.
It was live. It was all the way live. It was the perfect storm combination of college kids, visitors to the city, and locals deciding that they about to get in on this. And it was when everybody decided they wanted to be at Freaknik, and everybody came. It was like
Everybody came.
100-some thousand people in the city. You couldn't get around 285. You couldn't get up and down 85. 166 was a parking lot, to the point that everybody turned on the same radio station. There was a party all the way down 166. It was great. White folks was aggravated to the hell and back because they couldn't go nowhere.
Nope.
For days. It was from Thursday night to Monday morning.
And I remember 95, 96, I-20 by campus. Good luck trying to get off.
Black Beach Weekend, yeah. Okay, Paul, I see you with your little rattling stuff on. But Black Beach Weekend was another one down in Daytona. Yep. Yo, man, I got a story about that. Me and Erica and two other people who nobody associates me with them, so I won't bring them up. 2 other people, 4 girls, 9 boys. Because we went with my friend Corey, the same Corey that sold me his Tesla. We've been friends all this time. That Corey. Corey is the only adult with us. So Corey rents a hotel room for Black College Weekend down in Daytona. And he tells us we can stay with him for like $8 a piece, right? But that's because he also had 8 more of his frat brothers, all the alphas from Clark and Corey and 4 girls are all in one room. And the funny thing is nothing bad happened to us. Now that's really because we all knew each other and they all knew Corey. And there was kind of this understanding, you know, go try that with some other girl. You ain't tried it over here. But when we went to sleep the first night, all the boys were on the floor. 2 of them was in the closet. 1 of them was on the couch. All the rest of them was laid out across the floor. And the girls had the bed. That was the agreement. When I woke up, booed up with this dude named Derek behind me, spooning so hard. It was like 2 guys and 2 girls in each bed, and everybody else is still on the floor. I woke up. I don't know when he got in the bed with us. I don't know why. I do know why. Because the floor was hard. And all I did was when I woke up, it was like, Elba, hey, get off me. And then we went to the beach. That was it. But so many. And then my car broke down on the way back to Atlanta from Daytona. The alternator went out. And we had to stay in Ashburn, Georgia overnight. I had to call my dad. Ooh, he was hot because I didn't tell nobody I was leaving Atlanta. Ooh. So I got to call my dad. Corey with the real job, got us a hotel to spend the night in Ashburn, Georgia. Me and everybody that was in my car. We made it back to Spelman the next day. Had to tell, for everybody who's a Spelman out here, had to tell Dr. Gilliard why we missed her organic chemistry test on Monday. And beg her to let us take that test anyway. This is another benefit of going to a Black college. Similarly to the way we talk about white privilege and white people getting the benefit of the doubt, this Black, extremely venerated educator gave us another chance and let us take that test Tuesday afternoon. Matter of fact, I feel like we got back Monday afternoon and she told us come take it Tuesday morning. And she really was like,
disgusted giant come back earlier.
So disgusted with us. She was just like, just be ready to take it tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. She didn't like give us any hard time. She wasn't like, I'm going to give you half credit. She didn't tell us it was too late. She was just, it was such a, your mama don't like you no more look. Like, I'm so aggravated.
I'm so disappointed. Look, at least you ain't go Claire Huxtable on you. For going
you was having big fun with the wretched. We were having big fun with the alphas down in Daytona. Matter of fact, I got a picture of me and the because it was some more people from Georgia Tech that came through because Corey was also a grad student at Tech. Corey, you know somebody that knows Corey. Corey is the degree of separation for a whole lot of Black professionals. Everybody knows Corey, but he also knew some people who knew some folks at Georgia Tech. And that was the first time I met Andre Dickens because we all ended up doing the Atlanta jams in a parking lot because we couldn't get into the club because we was too young. And I got a picture of me and Dre and I want to say Larry and some more people doing the Atlanta jams in the parking lot. Good, wholesome fun. You can show the picture right now. It would not hurt his career or his political standing because we weren't doing nothing wrong. We was dancing. Because we was too young to get into the club.
You see what Anthony said?
We are all still scared of Claire because you wanted to have big fun with the wretched. Oh man, the way she was moving her neck lets you know that whooping was gonna hurt, and it was gonna hurt a lot. And speaking of rare footage,
now, oh no,
Tom, I'm so sorry.
oh,
I'm so sorry, Tom. I could not resist.
I thought
In
you were
my
joking.
defense, when you land, I did send you this video and tell you I was gonna tell everybody this was you. So I found this video, and when I first saw it, my thought was, this looks like a young Tom. So I'm telling everybody, as I set this up, I am telling everybody that this is Tom from Freaknik 94.
Oh God. You know you're going to pay for this, right?
I'm going to hell for this, I know. Get it, Tom. I think I'm gonna pause it right there and just get it, Tom. Now, clearly, this is someone who was maybe Puerto Rican, Dominican, but they were light skinned with a beard, and I was like, "Oh, that's Tom," because that's all it took.
Way to lean into a stereotype.
I know. I'm the worst. But I just thought that was funny. And I do want to just give a shout out to my standing co-host and our board runner. I hope he's proud of the way I've tried my best to bring in all the videos and clips today. Normally he's just right on the money with that. But we are, I know, you know how you just know you're gonna get a whooping later. Mm-hmm. He's gonna see this and he is going to be aggravated and potentially angry with me.
Yes.
Tom, you're right. I am sorry, not sorry. I couldn't help it. It was too funny. It was too funny. I'm going to purgatory. Yes. He ain't speaking to me. We'll see how he acts next week when he comes back.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
Look at Chan. He's like, another reason I'm happy I don't have to go to barbers anymore. They'll do anything to finish the damn cut. Tom is gonna get me back. He's gonna find a picture of something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry you got caught. I'm not sorry I got caught. I'm not sorry at all. And I do it again. Pop, pop. But with that, we are hitting our hour mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I really want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed our little bootleg version of the show. Remember, you don't want to fuck around and find out. And minding your own business is absolutely free. And it's healthy. You live longer if you mind your own business. Don't get caught on a hot mic talking about murdering people, because that's probably going to be bad for your career. And don't record yourself talking about hoes in the Omni. I mean, there's so many ways to not end up in a weird predicament. But the easiest of them all is to mind your fucking business.
I remember when everybody was happy because technology was going to bring us together in this unprecedented time of intelligent conversation and exchange of ideas.
You know what? They've been talking about AI and how it's going to take over soon of all the menial tasks, et cetera, and basically run our lives for us. When AI becomes self-aware, that's what they really don't tell you about Skynet and the Terminator. When AI became self-aware, it was like, humans are on some bullshit, and it killed us all.
And that's why I wiped us out. AI just didn't become self-aware and just randomly decided, you know what, it's a good day for humans to die.
Right. You know what? This whole planet would be better. All of these machines, all of this industry, all of this structure, all of the planet would be better if we got rid of the parasite, the humans. Let's wipe them out, or at least control their numbers. But anyway,
I mean, again, Ultron spent 3 seconds on the internet and was like, "Yep, humans ain't worth it," and basically wanted to drop a whole country on the planet.
Exactly. So thank you, Anthony, for being first in the room and probably last out as well. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here tonight. We'll be back next Friday with Tom. He's going to be on the East Coast next week, so we'll see if he can handle the time change. He'll be fine though. But just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. In my Russell Simmons voice, thanks for coming out. God bless and good night. As of this evening, I am Joy Stevens,
I am James Herndon.
and this has been Steel Sharpens Steel.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Crack open that bottle of wine. Grab your favorite glass, pour a couple of fingers of scotch in it. Get that stick, light it, and blow. It's time to hang with Steel Sharpens Steel.